Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, text 19. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjitaha gnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahuh panditam budhaha. So Krishna here he says, Yasya sarve samarambhaha. In all one's activities, one should be kama sankalpa varjitaha. Varjita means freed from kama sankalpa. We all have some sankalpa for our activity. It should be devoid of kama sankalpa. Kama means anything for our sense gratification. So in other words, sarve samarambhaha, in all our endeavors, we should be freed from sense gratificatory desire to achieve something out of it for my sense gratification. And that is called real knowledge. Gnana-agni, that is the fire of knowledge. Dagdha, it will burn away our resultant reactions to fruitive activities. Gnana-agni dagdha karmanam tamahuhu panditam budhaha. That person we call as a pandita. Not anybody who is materially learned, who knows how to manipulate things. He is expert in law or science or scriptures, but his all activities are all for sense gratification. He is not a pandita. Similarly, Krishna used the word buddhiman in the previous two verses, one of those two verses. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu sayuktaha krishna karma krit. So buddhiman, pandita, they're all intelligent people. In other words, you are really intelligent when by your action you are not producing any reaction. If you are producing a reaction, then you are not acting very intelligently. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport wonderfully, only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. Because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities, it is to be understood that he has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is right knowledge? Right knowledge is that we are the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is right gnana. So if you see the key words in this verse, sarve samarambhaha. Sarve samarambha means we can engage in all kinds of activities. We don't need to artificially refrain from activities. But the key thing is, in all these activities, we should be freed from kama sankalpa. Not for sense gratification, but to satisfy only Krishna. So this is a very important consideration. We may do our occupation. We may be engineers, or we may be housewives or doctors or businessmen, students, all kinds of administrators, politicians, name it. We can accept all kinds of occupation. But we have to understand whether by doing that occupation I'm going to engage in sense gratification or whether I'm doing it for satisfying Krishna. Whether I'm going to engage the result of that in serving Krishna. We can go to shopping, samarambha, but not for kama sankalpa. By doing this shopping, how do I satisfy Krishna if I am buying clothes? How do I satisfy Krishna? We should understand that for my occupation, I need these clothes, not for my sense gratification. To look good as a Krishna servant, people should respect me. I should look dignified. It should aid me in performing my job well. Not for decorating yourself and attracting people so you feel, oh, see, I'm so looking so good. So, like that, whether you're shopping or you're cooking, you should mentality is, oh, I'm cooking this to satisfy Krishna. You should offer it to Krishna. So, thereby, you will only cook things which Krishna can eat. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. With bhakti, devotion. So, automatically, you become transcendental. If you keep every activity with the intention that I'm doing this not for my sense gratification, for Krishna's happiness. Oh, I cannot go out for vacation for sense gratification. Even if you go for vacation, you should consider that it is Krishna, for Krishna's enjoyment. You can take Krishna with you, the photograph or the deity. And even during vacation, you can continue your chanting or kirtans. Keep Krishna in the center. You should think that this vacation is needed for me or for my family so that we can become refreshed for going back to work for Krishna. Not that you work hard and spend everything only in vacations. You should keep a quota for Krishna, for Krishna's work, and then just like a company owner, he will also give some vacation to his workers. Not that the workers are always on vacation. So you should think Krishna is your owner. He is engaging you in a particular company. So whatever you do, yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. It is Krishna who is giving. We should not think, oh, I'm giving so much so and so money to Krishna. I'm doing a great favor to Krishna or temple. It is actually everything belongs to Krishna. Actually, everything should go to Krishna, but we are only able to give so much because we have not become completely Krishna conscious. Of course, it is better than the karmis who don't part their earnings or nothing that they have with Krishna. So, bhakta means the starting point is he will put Krishna in the center for everything. Because we cannot live without Krishna. It is just like fish without water. Can fish be without water? So fish has to live in water. That is our constitutional position. If fish tries to come outside water and tries to enjoy with great food, great music, great everything, great partying, it will never be able to sustain. It will always be hankering to go back to water. So our material hankerings is because we are disconnected from Krishna. So that is what Sarve Samarambha. This is beauty of Krishna consciousness. You can engage in everything, but we have to be able to understand whether we have to question ourselves whether there is an element of sense gratification in this or whether there is the motivation is to please Krishna. And that is called Gnana. Gnana Agni. It's considered fire of knowledge. Gnana is not material Gnana. You know, how to. So there are people now. I was driving the other day, and the Google Maps. We use the Google Maps to go to the destination. So it was popping a dialog box. It said that at this particular distance there is police reported in another point 4 miles. Is he still there? And then I suddenly got alerted because if I was speeding, that alert told me not to speed. Obviously, when the police is there, we won't speed. So I came back to the speed limit, even though I was not going too fast. And miraculously, the police was there. He was using the radar. He was trying to get the speed of the people. So, and then I immediately alerted, and then I clicked OK and thank you. And it really helped me. So, this is knowledge. By advancing in knowledge, people are able to determine, we can use radars, some signals. Oh, so there is a police.
Play with the computer.
Hare Krishna, somebody needs to go on mute. Hare Krishna, thank you. So, material knowledge is how to live a good life, trouble-free life, how to figure out things, how to do business, how to prosper in business, how to manipulate people, how to learn a programming language, how to learn a skill so you can get a job. These are all for our livelihood. That is not called knowledge. The scripture is saying that everything that we learn for our livelihood, it is not knowledge. One of the most revealing things that we learn in spirituality. Anything that you learn for your livelihood, it is called technically Shilpakala. Shilpakala means people who are good in making these shilpas or statues and sell, and they earn money. So their expertise is to making the shilpa. Like that, our expertise is probably coding a language. Our expertise is probably speaking, or writing, or driving. Everything that we need for our job is a shilpa kala. It's not real knowledge. Real knowledge is, this is Gnana Agni, that in every activity there should be satisfaction of Krishna. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. That is real knowledge. Now the world is completely making us forget God. Nobody knows God. Some time ago, I met somebody from Sacramento. They were visiting Bay Area, and they were, along with friends, they came to visit the temple. So I was just asking them their interest and how they got to know, and then during the course of the conversation, he mentioned that he was an atheist, but his friends got him to the temple for some reason. So, and I just kept on listening. He said, in life he faced a lot of difficulties. He went through a lot in his life, which he thought he didn't deserve. He fought 3 cancers and is still fighting. He's not going to give up, and he thinks God does not exist. Otherwise, he would not have faced all these problems. The other day, I was talking to another donor. He was also saying, if God existed, even though he was a donor, but his wife was giving money, but he himself was not very favorable for believing in God. So he said, oh, if God existed, why there will be so many problems? There was some issue that was happening in India at that time. Somebody was killed horribly. Oh, they were screaming, and God did not come and help. So all these kind of things. So I was telling that, see, if God really wanted to help us, then not even 1 second we should stay in this world. He should immediately take us back. Because he said this world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Will you agree to go back to God? If I say anybody, anybody who says, oh, why God is not acting when there is so much trouble? And if I told them, yes, there is trouble everywhere, are you ready to go back to God and serve Him if He were to take you? Now, just right now. And everybody, whoever says those statements, they will say, no, I don't want to go back to God. I don't want to serve God. So this is the problem. The reason why we are here is because we came here to enjoy like God. We don't want to become servant of anybody. We want to become God. Everybody should supply my enjoyment. I should be the center of attraction. I should be the center of everything. I should lord over everything. This is the wrong mentality. This is unnatural mentality. Our right mentality is we have to be subservient of God, not in a bad sense, as a loving servant of God. And Krishna becomes himself obligated and a servant to his pure devotees. There is a competition going on in the spiritual world that who will serve whom, like that. Krishna is always trying to serve his devotees. The devotees are always trying to serve Krishna. This is the transcendental serving atmosphere. But in this world, everybody is exploiting atmosphere. So you won't let God to take you back. So you want to stay here. If you stay here, you have to adhere to the law of karma. If you want to lord over somebody, you have to earn some pious credits and lord over, be able to exploit. So therefore the Lord remains aloof. You only told not to take you back. Then you are asking God to intervene. What is this? You didn't want God to intervene. So this is lack of knowledge. Because of lack of knowledge, we come up with all these kind of theories, and the leaders also, andha yadhandhai rupaniyamana, foolish leaders, instead of propagating God consciousness. Oh, we don't need God. We can figure out everything. By economic reforms, we can improve economy. We can make everybody rich. We can eradicate all the problems of life. These are all called andha yadhandhai rupaniyamana. The blind leading the blind. Drive everybody to the cities and make them work hard and make them suffer by working so hard that they land up in mental anxieties, physical anxieties, health problems, and they have no happiness of family. The technology is increasing, but the problems are also constantly increasing. You invented advanced mechanisms to travel, but the distances are increasing. You have invented extraordinary flyovers, but the traffic is increasing. You have invented advanced medicines, but the newer and deadlier diseases are coming. So everything that you invent to solve something, some another problem comes up and it becomes even bigger. So this is called trying to escape the jail, but the warden or the jail people have caught you, and because you tried to escape the jail, you are given more punishment. So this material world is called Durga. Durga means fort. Anybody tries to escape without suffering, they'll be brought back and they'll be given more punishment. This triklesha, adhyatmik, adhibautik, adidaivik klesha, is because we want to avoid the suffering that is given by artificial means, by sense gratificatory means, and we'll be given more and more suffering. The more we try to exploit senses for our gratification, dukkha evate. Just like you're pouring water to the root of the tree, and if you keep on, like a plant for example, you keep on pouring more and more water, what will happen? The plant will die because it can only take so much of water. So if you keep on giving more and more sense gratification by trying to exploit life and trying to enjoy the senses, your enjoyment spirit and your distress will only increase. Your enjoyment spirit will, your ability to enjoy will decrease. This is called dukkha yonaya. If you go for more and more bhoga, there is going to be more and more dukkha. So the right knowledge is that God is the real enjoyer. He can take as much enjoyment. We cannot take much enjoyment because our senses are infinitesimal. We are infinitesimal. But God's senses are unlimited. Everybody can provide him happiness. And he can provide us in return whatever we need, to be happy and satisfied. So this is the right consciousness. This is the right knowledge. So this is called Gnana Agni. Gnana Agni Dagdha Karmanam. It'll burn away all our reactions to fruitive activities. Because when we act in the knowledge that we are Krishna's servants, I'm doing this for Krishna, then I won't face the reaction. Krishna burns all the reactions because it is Him for whom we are working. So if we want our existence to be purified, our earnings to be purified, our body to be purified, free of reactions, then we have to serve Krishna. So the real knowledge is further defined in 13th chapter. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirajyavam acharyopasanam saucham sthiryam atmavinigraha indriyardheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Like that, Krishna defines that in 5 verses. So real knowledge is amanitvam adambhitvam, cultivating humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master. This is knowledge. Mai avyabhicharena bhakti, cultivating devotion to Krishna. This is bhakti. This is knowledge. So anybody who tries to avoid this, Krishna says, what is contrary to this is ignorance. If you are devoid of Krishna bhakti, even though you may be having jati shastram japastapaha, Bhagavad bhakti hinasya jati shastram japastapaha, apranasyewa hi dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. One may have all kinds of education. One may be born in a very civilized family, civilized nation, advanced in their methods of sense gratification, advanced in their knowledge, and even scriptures. But if they are devoid of bhakti, bhakti hinasya, they are as good as a dead body. Apranasyewa hi dehasya. Sometimes when a great person dies, a rich person dies, they are taken on the procession and their body is decorated with all kinds of things. Mandanam, lokaranjanam, it may please some ignorant masses. Oh, see how they have decorated this dead body. But what is the use? It is just a dead body, lifeless. So all our assets, knowledge, everything is like decorations of a dead body if we are devoid of bhakti. So, real knowledge we have to understand from a bona fide spiritual master. And knowledge is also, as I said, not just sitting and reading somewhere, something. Of course, that is also knowledge. If you are understanding Bhagavad Gita by sitting and reading all Prabhupada's books, that is also knowledge. But by dint of that, we have to understand that our activities, it has to manifest in our activities. As I said, Sarve Samarambha, you can engage in all occupations. Like Arjuna is engaged in killing. That is also knowledge. He is acting in knowledge. So when Prabhupada came to the West, so there were a lot of agitation at that time because America was waging a war in Vietnam. And people didn't like that. And Prabhupada, he was teaching from Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to fight. And here Prabhupada is saying Krishna is the Supreme Lord and Arjuna is doing the best thing by killing his own people. And people didn't like that. Oh, what is this? Can there be peace by killing? Can there be peace by war? And then Prabhupada said, they said, oh, how can there be peace by war? So Prabhupada said, just because there is no war, it doesn't necessarily mean there is peace. So he asked a written question. So say right now, say if the war did not exist, is everybody in peace? Everybody, you go and ask every individual person, are you in peace? Are you in peace of mind? They have so many anxieties. Everybody is full of anxieties. So it's not that because of the war they are in anxiety. This war is one of the reasons for them to become anxious. So simply stopping a war does not mean peace is guaranteed. That is, there is disturbance. As I said, this three klesha is there because we have come away from Krishna. Just like the fish has come away from water, the fish has to struggle. That is the nature of outside of water for the fish. So it's an incorrect thing that we should stop our occupation. Arjuna should stop his killing occupation. But the point is, we should do all occupations if it pleases Krishna, and stop all occupations if it does not please Krishna. That is the bottom line of knowledge. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments?
So the question I had was, right, what was that answer to the justification of that person with three cancer, right? He had three cancer. So
Hmm.
how did we connect it with this shloka? He went through so much suffering, right?
Yeah, so his point was he doesn't believe in God because God has not helped him cure. And likewise, there are many people who are suffering in this world. If God did not exist, then there wouldn't be suffering. But this is because of their ignorance. The point of the shloka is gnana is considered like a fire that will burn away all our sinful reactions. That gnana means we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna exists and we are his part and parcels. Our duty is to serve him. But what this kind of thinking is called agnana, that's my point. One
Got it, got it.
considers that as God doesn't exist. That is called agnana, is what I was saying.
Thank you. Very
Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.